ESPN recently released its updated 2024 WNBA rookie rankings on Thursday. However, the results surprised many people and are difficult to understand. In the rankings, Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese was placed at number 1, while Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark was ranked second.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the rookie of the year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with? Now, I'm not going to put Asia Wilson in there. I'm just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball.
At this point, the situation is starting to get out of control. Anyone who has been following the story from the beginning knows that there really isn't a true competition here. While many people are labeling Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark as rivals, that narrative mainly comes from the moment when Reese mocked Clark with a "you can't see me" gesture and later tapped her on the head. It seems like Reese is trying to link her name with Caitlin Clark, but in reality, there isn't much of a contest between them. Clark's performance clearly stands out and surpasses Reese's.
Is the Caitlin Clark comparison. She's being destroyed by chasing the Rookie of the Year thing, which she has no chance, so she wants to be a dynamic offensive player, and she's just not right now. She's a great rebounder, great energy.
It almost seems like ESPN is working overtime to convince everyone that there is a real Rookie of the Year race happening. But a race only exists when at least two competitors are truly battling to reach the finish line. One wins and the other falls short. So the real question is, was there ever actually a race? In my opinion, the answer is no. Yet somehow we've reached a point where Angel Reese is ranked at number 1. It's honestly confusing how things got to this stage. ESPN released its updated rookie rankings, and surprisingly, Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese sits at the top of the list, while Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark is placed at number 2. Thinking about it is almost frustrating, because it doesn't seem to make much sense. We'll look at ESPN's reasoning for this decision in a moment, but first, let's hear what Joe Budden had to say about the situation.
All right, what I'm saying to you is this. I have seen footage of Caitlin Clark now, and I have seen footage of Angel Reese.
Oh, you about to piss me off.
I'm as pro-black as all the pro-black people. I'm as pro-black as Lisa Bloom. I'm telling y'all, and I'm not trying to cause a kerfuffle,
Joe.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a lot better than Angel Reese.
I completely agree with Joe Budden, and honestly, it feels like ESPN needs to start paying closer attention to the actual games. Fans clearly aren't happy with this ranking, and many of them went to Twitter, X, to express their frustration. One account, Clark Report, criticized ESPN by saying it's a disappointing excuse for a sports network. Another fan named David said ranking Angel Reese at number 1 is laughable and insulting to the game of basketball. Trent Harvey also raised an important question. Do these so-called experts even watch the games? ESPN seems to have pulled out certain statistics to justify putting Angel Reese at the top, but the situation really isn't that complicated. Caitlin Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to record 500-plus points and 250-plus assists, which is a remarkable achievement. So how did ESPN justify its ranking? Their reasoning relies heavily on advanced metrics. In other words, when the basic stats don't clearly support a claim, complicated statistics are sometimes used to shape the narrative. ESPN highlighted Reese's rebounding numbers and her impressive number of double-doubles, 22 in total, including a streak of 15. While that is certainly a notable stat, critics argue that it doesn't tell the full story. Meanwhile, the idea that Angel Reese is performing better than Caitlin Clark as a rookie has sparked plenty of debate. Clark has been on an incredible run over the past few months and has had a huge impact on the league. The Indiana Fever struggled early in the season, but once Clark found her rhythm, she became extremely difficult for opponents to stop. Anyone who has followed the season knows that Clark isn't just the most talked-about rookie. She has also been one of the most influential players on the court. Her performances have been exciting, game-changing, and often spectacular. Yet despite that, ESPN continues to push the narrative that Angel Reese is the top rookie. When you start comparing basic statistics, the conversation becomes even more interesting. In several areas, Caitlin Clark outperforms Reese. For example, Clark is even averaging more blocks per game, despite being about 4 inches shorter than Reese. That statistic alone surprises many fans and raises questions about how this debate is even so close. Critics also point out that Angel Reese has one of the lowest shooting percentages from inside 5 feet in the league, something they feel ESPN overlooked when making its rankings.
All of her shots are within 2, 3, 4 feet, and she can't make 29% of them. Here's why I'll give Angel Reese credit, and this is why I'm...
Another important point that shouldn't be overlooked is that the Chicago Sky are actually performing worse this season after adding Angel Reese than they did last year without her. Now, that isn't entirely her fault. She's still having a respectable rookie season. However, it raises a serious question. How can ESPN argue that Reese contributes more to winning than Caitlin Clark? The numbers and results simply don't support that claim. If you look at the Indiana Fever, the difference is clear. Even if the Fever were to lose every remaining game this season, they would still finish with a better record than they had last year. That alone shows the level of impact Caitlin Clark has had on the team. In many ways, she has helped elevate the franchise to a completely new level. At some point, what actually happens on the court has to matter. Anyone watching the games can see the difference. When you compare the overall impact of these two rookies, it's difficult to argue that Reese has had a greater influence on her team or the league. The Chicago Sky are still fighting just to secure a playoff spot, while the Indiana Fever, after winning only 13 games last season, are now pushing toward playoff contention. For many observers, there simply isn't a strong argument that Angel Reese has had a bigger impact than Caitlin Clark. And if those rankings gave Reese hope in the Rookie of the Year race, Clark may have just shut that conversation down with another incredible performance. In a game against the Chicago Sky, Clark delivered a spectacular showing that energized the entire arena. As she was subbed out with 3:52 left in the game, the crowd gave her a standing ovation. The Indiana Fever dominated the matchup, and Clark was clearly the star of the night. The game started competitively, but once Clark and the Fever found their rhythm, Chicago struggled to keep up. Clark shot 8 of 14 from the field and 5 of 9 from three-point range, finishing with an impressive 31 points. On top of that, she set 2 new records during the game, something that has become almost expected whenever she steps on the court. Meanwhile, Angel Reese had a quieter night. She finished with 10 rebounds and 8 points, shooting 3 of 8 from the field, and wasn't able to make the same kind of impact. Clark, on the other hand, showed what a true double-double can look like by adding 12 assists to her 31 points. Her playmaking created opportunities for teammates throughout the game. Kelsey Mitchell also had a strong performance, scoring 23 points, and Clark could have easily finished with even more assists if a few additional shots had gone in. One of the biggest moments came with Clark's 10th assist of the game. With that play, Caitlin Clark surpassed Ticha Penicairo for the most games with 10 or more assists by a rookie in WNBA history. The play itself was smooth. Clark moved the ball around the floor, Aaliyah Boston made a smart cut, and Clark delivered a perfect pass that led to an easy jumper. Just like that, the record was hers.
We haven't talked about it in a minute, Lisa, but you have to wonder how much Kennedy Carter not being here is really hurting Chicago tonight.
Kennedy a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston now has gone back-to-back.
And just like that, another record was broken. Caitlin Clark continued to put on a show, knocking down deep three-pointers with confidence. By the end of the game, the scoreboard read 81, and the crowd in Chicago was left stunned. What many expected to be a big night for Angel Reese quickly turned into a dominant showcase by Clark. However, the game wasn't without controversy. At one point, Clark was hit with what many viewed as a clear frustration foul. It didn't appear accidental and seemed to reflect Chicago's growing frustration as the game slipped away from them. Some observers felt the physical play had crossed the line, especially during matchups between the Chicago Sky and Clark's Indiana Fever. Despite the rough moment, Clark remained composed and continued playing at a high level. By that stage of the game, she was already in complete control and difficult for the defense to stop. When the final buzzer sounded, the message felt clear to many fans and analysts. Caitlin Clark isn't just making a strong case as the best rookie in the WNBA, but her performances have even placed her in conversations about the league's MVP race.
Game of the season. And an enemy territory gets this kind of salute as she exits the game.
Is this enemy territory? Because I've seen a lot of Caitlin Clark jerseys in downtown Chicago today.
The Indiana Fever are now sitting at 16-16, and at this point, they're becoming a team that no one is eager to face in the playoffs. For many fans, the Rookie of the Year race feels essentially decided, with Caitlin Clark proving again and again that she's the real deal. The reality is that fans didn't need this latest game to confirm it. Many already believed Clark deserved the Rookie of the Year title, even though ESPN seemed to need more convincing. After performances like this, critics hope the network will rethink the idea of ranking Angel Reese ahead of Caitlin Clark. Still, credit should be given where it's deserved. Angel Reese has had some impressive performances of her own. In one game, she pulled down 22 rebounds, and she became the first player in WNBA history to record 3 consecutive 20-rebound games. That's a remarkable accomplishment and shows that Reese is a serious competitor. Even so, when discussing overall skill set and impact, many analysts highlight Clark's strengths, her ball handling, elite passing, and ability to score from anywhere on the court. Those qualities have made her one of the most exciting players to watch this season. Some commentators still believe the Rookie of the Year race could remain competitive, arguing that Reese has proven she shouldn't be underestimated. But what do you think about the debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates and discussions.